is Josh Boerman. I am the co-host of the Worst of All Possible Worlds, but you can call me the Worst of All Possible Joshes.
Oh my God, can he do that?
We partnered with one of the most influential internet culture podcasts out there.
That's crazy.
In what might be the biggest, most audacious crossover ever attempted in the world of podcasting.
Oh my God, can they do that?
Oh my gosh.
At the end of this episode, I'm going to be taking off my pants and whipping my cock out. You're all gonna get a great look at it.
Is that his penis?
I don't want that. Can we stop that?
But before we get there, we might as well roll the theme song. Let's go!
So many possible worlds, but we got this one. So many possible worlds, but we got this one.
Welcome to the Worst of All Possible Worlds, the first and only game show podcast. I'm the Worst of All Possible Joshes.
I'm the worst of all possible AJs.
And I'm the worst of all possible Bryans.
And joining us for a very sedate episode, I am beyond thrilled to, well, first of all, welcome our guests, of course, for a continuation of Beast Week, the week in which we dig into Jimmy, MrBeast Donaldson.
The week in which we beast.
They are the co-hosts of Kill the Computer, a podcast about how the internet spills out into the real world. We're thrilled to have them both on for what I think is going to be an amazing collaboration. Please welcome June and Caleb.
Hey.
Yo.
I watched Beast Games Season 2 like a month ago, and I've been vibrating to talk about this. I could not wait. I am so excited to talk about this. Caleb and I are the exact opposite right now, I feel like.
That's the thing. We had you on last year, June, to talk about Beast Games Season 1.
Yeah.
But we really wanted to sweeten the deal here. So we wanted to bring Caleb in as well, who, of course, we previously had on to talk about Richard Russell, the Sky King of Seattle. Caleb, how are you feeling today?
Somehow this makes me want to kill myself more than the Richard Russell episode. If there's anything better than like watching 20 hours of MrBeast in a week or whatever, it's doing it with the commentary of like a baby in his late 30s. So you guys are in for a treat.
Now, Caleb, do you want to keep recording this podcast with us? Or will you take these $200,000 that Carl is rolling in to quit the podcast right now?
Okay, so everybody here is talking about this Beast Game Season 2, and I don't know what any of you are talking about because I watched Beast Game StrongSmart.
True.
I was fucking screaming that the entire season. He was like, wow, that's what a smart person would do. Wow. I can't believe the moves the strong people are doing.
You are going to have to work to be smart, and only the smart people know what a triangle is.
And if you remember season 1, they did smart people challenges where they did like trivia, where they were like, true or false, tennis is played with a ball.
Yeah, that's right.
They like Googled hardest trivia questions and then had them write it down on a napkin and then like show it to the camera.
Like in the back half, they made people take an IQ test. They just printed off the internet. So we just watch people sitting at desks.
Even like the way that he measures like strong versus smart was such a
crazy.
It's just the alien goo that is Jimmy. Like, you know what I mean? None of those people, like, of course, it's all like people who are good at math. That's what Jimmy conceives as smart. Nobody knows anything about social sciences or anything like that,
recognition,
right? Yeah, people who memorize things fast.
The blocks. It's always the fucking blocks.
Always the blocks with this guy. Well, look, we'll get into it. But before we talk about Beast Game StrongSmart, I feel like we should give a little bit of background for those of you who are not yet caught up on all things Beast Games, which is insane. I don't know why you wouldn't be, but
it's the most watched show in the history of Amazon.
That's right, AJ.
No, it's not. It's the most watched nonfiction show in the history of Amazon.
We had previously, of course, talked about Beast Games Season 1 with June, as we mentioned. We also, on Monday, talked about sort of what MrBeast was up to last year, pretty much up until the airing of Beast Games Season 2. Now, just for a little bit of recap of Beast Games Season 1, a man named Jeff won $10 million.
Yeah.
Also, another man named JC won $650,000, but did it in a way that made a lot of people really mad at him. That's it. That's all you need to know.
Well, and also the Lord was guiding the proceedings.
And I think another really important piece of context is season 1, the games were 99% horseshit.
Horrendous.
It was so clear in season 1, they had this idea to do the game show, and they showed up day 1 and they're like, wait, we don't have any games. We have all these people here. And they're like, I guess we can just throw balls off of buildings and like see how
we
far
built the buildings. So we can throw balls on the buildings. We can throw balls off the buildings.
They're all very recess themed.
Yeah, they are recess themed. They're recess coded.
And then the trolley problem.
Yes. So many fucking trolley problems, because the whole idea of season 1 of Beast Games was that it was basically Jimmy doing his own Squid Game.
And setting records, setting 40 Guinness World Records.
That's right.
So everything always had to be the biggest, the most expensive. They went way over budget. And to hear MrBeast talk about it behind the scenes, it sounds like they actually did lose money and that his own company had to ante up to get the show renewed on basically his own dime.
Which they did, by the way. Variety reported on January 16, 2025, that Amazon basically announced that there were 50 million, what they called viewers of Beast Games within its first 25 days. Now, what the fuck is a viewer? We don't know.
What we saw from Nielsen ratings was somewhere around like 6 million like regular viewers,
which is
as
good,
opposed to
actually.
Just like a click. Yeah, that's not bad for television at all, but it's not the biggest show ever.
The thing that was interesting though is that Amazon said that half of the viewers of Beast Games Season 1 were outside of the United States, and it did drive conversions to Amazon Prime. So they had an interest in renewing it, but because of the fact that there was such a significant cost overrun to the tune of tens of millions of dollars.
$10 million.
Multiple tens of millions of dollars, probably, right? They were a bit concerned about making the thing work budget-wise. But just a few months later, May 12, 2025, Amazon did announce at their annual upfronts in New York that they had renewed Beast Games for 2 more seasons, and filming for season 2 began in June.
I'm still stuck on the fact that this drove up subscriptions to Amazon Prime, and the only way I can rationalize that for myself is that people really needed to order rat poison immediately after watching the entirety of Beast Games.
I mean, just generally, a lot of people obviously really do like MrBeast, but there were people in season 2 of Beast Games when they were being interviewed that were like, I watched this with my whole family. We watched season 1 together. We all really loved it. This was like a really good bonding experience. So like, I mean, obviously it's going to select for those sort of people to be on the show, obviously, but I don't think that's just a coincidence, right? I think there is a lot of
homeschooler's delight.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's also just think about all of the kids, all of the literal children who like went up to their parents and was like, Mom, I want to watch Beast Games. And so Mom whipped out the American Express and threw it down for a month of Amazon Prime, and then it just kept auto-renewing. In terms of the budget this past season for season 2, part of the costs were defrayed by the great state of North Carolina, which granted $15 million to MrBeast. This was, I should note, the maximum that can be granted to any single project under North Carolina's film industry grant program. And that represents approximately half of the annual budget of that program, which is $31 million a year.
The original location, of course, was up in Canada. They have decided not to go back to the original Beast City, which was surrounded by all of this like fake shit they would digitally composite in there. Here, when you see Beast City, North Carolina, they actually don't composite shit around it. And this is built on basically the MrBeast compound. This is where the house where the exes have to stay for a month together. Like, that's not very far away from here. This is where all of they've built like this giant freestanding studio, the largest in North America, for other MrBeast projects.
Jesus.
So they have all of these things going, and they have these deals with the state of North Carolina, with Lowe's hardware for a lot of the materials that they use to build the campus. Plus, this is only for 200 people.
Such a better choice.
Season 1 started with 1,000 people. He also has this deal with Las Vegas, which is where the show begins. Once more, the very first round is again in Las Vegas, Nevada.
What I have to say straight away is starting with 200 people instead of 1,000 solves the entire problem with like the first 2 episodes of season 1 of Beast Games, where it was just completely useless. It was just people standing in rows, pressing buttons. You didn't really get to know anyone. You didn't really see anything interesting. It was just sort of like flares in your eyes with all of the like graphics and flashing lights and it's like you're just watching people stand. And it was just some of the worst television, especially like game show television I had ever watched.
Yeah. It's bad TV, but it also makes for bad logistics.
Yeah.
If you're talking about flying 1,000 people to Las Vegas, that is so much goddamn money for such little return on investment. In fact, I would argue negative ROI, right? It is actually a measurably worse show when you have that many people because you simply can't keep track of all of them.
Yeah, and we don't have reports necessarily of the lack of food that we did from season 1, where they got like the slice of cheese delivered to their room or whatever.
We don't have the lawsuits for season 2 that we had with season 1.
No, and I will say that like I listened to a podcast from 2 of the competitors who were talking about their time there. The podcast, I swear to God, is 12 minutes long. So it's one of those ones where I'm just like, they can be 12 minutes? What have we been doing? But anyway, this one's called Wait Say More with Eric Chang, and it's called The Realty on Beast Games with Michelle the Human Calculator, who we all remember. I actually misread her name initially and thought it said Michelle the Human Contradiction, which I'm like, wow, Beast Games is getting really deep with this season, I guess. Holy shit. We got enigmas. She talks about how in the hotel rooms, because they couldn't have their phones or anything, like the actual production team provided them with puzzles to do. Like little Mr. Beast themed like
not even just like giving them standard shit from like a game store. It has to be a 50-piece Mr. Beast puzzle.
Bro doesn't waste a second to advertise himself. It's astonishing.
But everyone was like, maybe these have something to do with the games we're going to play.
Yeah.
Nope.
No, of
unrelated entirely.
Yeah, maybe Mr. Beast is giving us clues. This is part of his grand escape room.
Mr. Beast, I gave you all the clues.
Yeah. That would be a lot of fun. You got to wonder how much fucking and sucking is going on the Las Vegas hotel while they're starting.
Clearly
we know of 2 people.
Yeah.
We know of 2 people who got fucking and sucking, and we'll talk about them a little bit later.
The finale aired on February 25, making it officially Emmy eligible for this year's Emmy Awards, and Jimmy will not shut the fuck up about it.
He wants that Emmy. He wants it
so bad.
One thing that you see if you look at Mr. Beast on YouTube, you will of course see his videos and the stuff done with YouTubers. What you will also find is a lot of him appearing on legacy media.
Yes.
For their like new media branches. So you'll see interviews with Wall Street Journal. You'll see like Forbes and Esquire and Jimmy Fallon, doing all the big
hot ones.
He went on hot ones. He's doing all the things that like people with charisma usually do, but it's all because this is the next step for him. His numbers, for the most part, are not going to go any higher.
He's plateaued in terms of what he can do with his existing reach and toolkit.
He has literally global saturation.
Yes.
He's broadening his empire. He is getting off just YouTube. It's time for television. It's time for the theater.
He has to figure out how to reach old people like us.
Mr. Beast is going to Broadway.
I think that, like, if you didn't know anything about him, it's the Jimmy Gambit, right? Oh, here's a nice young boy who's gotten all of his money for being positive and blah, blah, blah. But you don't know, your Gam doesn't know that he gets this money by torturing people, basically.
Right. Yeah. For his own enjoyment, despite what he claims that he's just a nice boy who likes.
It's just altruism, AJ.
Yeah,
it's just altruism.
Giving them money.
To do Squid Games in real life, which, by the way, I didn't want to interrupt when we were talking about this before. Yeah. It concerns me that he takes inspiration directly from spectacle television like that and was just beaten by Fallout.
And to go back to the Squid Game thing, of course, we talked about this a lot with Beast Game Season 1, our first Mr. Beast episode. He uses this word utopia a couple times on the show. Behind the scenes and in interviews, he uses the word utopia over and over and over and over again, which if you remember season 1 of Squid Game, that was a very long time ago, they get that point where they talk to the leader, he's wearing the mask and everything. They ask the leader, like, what are you building here? Like, what's the purpose of this? And he says utopia. So I don't even know if Jimmy Donaldson is fully aware of what that word even means. I think he just watched Squid Game and that word just stuck in his head after that.
I think it's just like the continuous, like a confounding thing about MrBeast, about Jimmy, where he sees things on his television and just thinks they're cool, doesn't really think any deeper about like the implication or like an underlying message.
The StrongSmart dynamic basically dies after episode 1. There are just people, if you pay attention, they have different jerseys that they wear. You have sleeves if you're smart, and you don't have them if you're strong.
Yeah, because you got to show off the guns.
But you're not part of like 2 separate teams the whole way throughout. It's just regular Beast games. It's just some people have been given a category, and you totally forget about it, except that he sometimes brings up, oh, only 2 of the smart players are left.
It's not sometimes. He does it almost, I think, every episode. He mentions it offhand. He's so excited too. Yeah. He's so excited when he's like, oh my God.
Even though it's functionally meaningless.
This is how the show starts. There's a shot of a microphone that is descending from the ceiling. Jimmy grabs it and starts talking.
Once again, I am standing on $5 million of real cash, an unfathomably large amount of money. But this year, competing for this money, 100 of the strongest contestants on the entire planet.
Let's go! We here, baby! We here! Let's go!
Versus 100 of the smartest contestants in the world. You are witnessing the first time in human history the 100 strongest and the 100 smartest have ever been in the same room. Will it be brains or biceps that wins Beast Games? Because only one of these 200 contestants is gonna win $5 million. I'm Jimmy Donaldson, also known as MrBeast, and this is Beast Games, the biggest competition show in the history of television. Who's excited for season 2?
Yay!
We have measured their skulls.
Yeah, like how does he know? How does he know? Is like the intro is like you have to do the block game when you first intro.
It was in the application. It was in the application to the show this season, which also helped probably filter things a little bit, is that you would have to give your credential of how you're a strong person. So for some people, it's like a guy who's actually won like 5 strongman championships, a guy who's in the Navy, shit like that. And then on the smart side, you have a woman who can do a lot of really complex calculations in her head. You have someone who's just labeled boy genius.
There's a crypto content creator.
Yes.
Yeah, there's like a guy who just has an engineering degree. So it's like, what is smartness going to be on this show? And it's going to be what it was last season as well.
We are in a big dome that they built in Las Vegas.
Yeah, it's very makeshift.
Yes.
So once it gets rained on, it tears into pieces.
I mean, MrBeast always does this sort of thing, but I think it's the most obvious in Beast Games season 1 and 2, where he's like, "This is the biggest. These are the strongest. These are like these are. It's the definitive. He's so definitive about all this. It's kind of goated how much he just like lies, and he can just do it. It's just like a good strategy that he uses all the time.
But if something is really nuts, you don't have to tell me it's nuts.
It's literally crazy.
I will see it and I will go, wow. That's nuts.
But he and his team are so bad at letting a spectacle land. For instance, it wasn't, even though he says it, again, the words just start to turn into mush because everything sounds exactly the same with the exact same cadence. He's built this entire giant platform on these like winches that rises up into the air, but I didn't even realize that it rose up into the air when I watched the episode. I only saw it. I really like sensed it when I was watching the behind the scenes.
Yes. The way that they shoot this, so they get all of the strong contestants out onto this platform. They start raising it on these pneumatic winches. It goes up. But it's not really filmed in such a way where you can see it.
No, we're seeing it mostly from the mounted GoPros that are on the platform itself. So you don't get the sense of movement. And they're all doing close-ups of people's reactions to it moving.
And there are hundreds upon hundreds of cameras in this thing.
Yeah.
With everything like this, you are seeing example after example of we had all of the tools at our disposal, but nothing in the way of a cohesive vision. You have to find focus.
Yeah. And all those cameras are necessary because of the people backstage who have to track everybody.
Right.
And they have a really interesting, I mean, organizationally, this probably is a show that doesn't have any peer. But it doesn't show up in the finished product. What we do see is that we have producers who are very, very good at following their contestants, and they're able to drag character traits just over to this very easy access like window. And they're just constantly going through so that they have like dossiers that are updating regularly on every single player whenever people backstage are seeing something happen.
They're basically building a gigantic wiki with data about each of the competitors and their storylines, which is frankly really cool.
Except we don't, like, remember the champion? We don't know anything about that man. The person who wins this season is a guy that we don't spend any time with in the early episodes.
Hey, he's a pilot.
this season, I will give credit. There is a little bit more focus on like actual human dynamics and like interactions with other players.
You get snippets,
They are so lucky that those two people decided to just get married after 3 days.
I know.
Because that's the only real story happening on that campus this year.
And it was compelling. It was,
For now, let's talk about the opening challenge for the strong ones. After they've raised this platform, there are all of these squares, basically, that open up. And then dangling from them are these long ropes. Mm-hmm. They have to climb down the ropes, pick up a set of blocks that is weighted down, and it is weighted down to 1/3 of each competitor's mass. Everybody has to pull up a different weight, basically, and then they have to climb back up to the top with the weight, and they have to stack the blocks because it's Jimmy and he loves blocks.
So the first 50 who do this out of 100, they get to move on. But of course, if you fall off, you're immediately eliminated. This is a game.
Yes.
This is a real game.
But when I was watching that, I remember being fairly impressed that some of these games were actually games, but I was also just still like, this doesn't seem right that it's exactly proportional, especially because like how muscle builds, it like doesn't necessarily, it's like, it's sort of like a Neanderthal's understanding of like muscle and like lifting things, because like
the jocks designed this game, surely.
No, I think somebody who does like all body challenges, like Tyler, the guy who has won multiple World's Strongest Man competitions, it's about being strong in every part of your body.
Mm-hmm.
But different people body build in different ways.
Yes.
This is a challenge that is going to be good for people who have serious upper body strength. But if you've been building mostly lower body strength, climbing up a rope with 1/3 of your mass attached to your ass is not going to be easy at all.
This is actually the game where I noticed something in the background, because I had to watch this twice, because I watched it the first time with you two, and then I completely forgot it over the course of the month and a half, and I rewatched it.
Well, and Josh was screaming the whole time.
He was like
hollering.
Yeah, he was stamping the floor. This was totally
I got my
his shit.
dick out. It was crazy.
It
my neighbors were just beating down my door.
I showed them my dick.
Brian got evicted.
Only 42 contestants made it through the challenge.
Interestingly enough, it was an even amount of women and men, but it wasn't quite 50, so they had to do a tiebreaker challenge off camera of push-ups.
You're very wise for looking into this, because I was like, it's very convenient that in both challenges, the blocks one and the strength one, there seemed to be a fairly even amount straight away.
They fucked up the blocks even worse, and we're going to get to that.
I genuinely was like, wow, that just worked out perfectly. Turns out, no, MrBeast, classic MrBeast moment, doesn't actually design the game properly.
That's what a kid who has to go through remedial kindergarten has to say. Oh, I fucked up the blocks.
Let's go play blocks today.
Again, but he fucked up the blocks again. This was all season 1 was fucking up the blocks.
And the thing is, they don't just obfuscate this in the edit. They lie. They show like, oh, this is person 49 making it up. No, contestants 43 through 50 won the push-up competition.
But hey, it's better television. I don't want to see people do a fucking push-up competition. And last season was all push-up competition.
So smart challenge. You got to stack blocks. You got blocks. They're in colors. You need to do the stacking in the same order that Jimmy stacked the blocks from memory.
Yeah, he makes his tower. He knocks it down. You have a timer. Stack up your blocks.
It started with just a few blocks. Everybody was able to do it easily, so they kept adding more blocks and making the time shorter. Eventually, Jimmy stacked 16 blocks and had everybody clear it in 30 seconds. This was way too difficult. Only 18 people passed.
Oh,
no fucking way,
dude.
But that's not what you see on camera.
Yeah, for them, they do sort of a graduated filter where it's like, okay, this number of people made it through. Okay, then we're going to step down and do one that's a little bit easier and then get more people until, we hit 50.
Not so smart, actually, it turns out. I think these are the smartest people. Blocks are really hard for the 100 smartest people in the world.
But so basically Jimmy went way too hard, way too fast, and they had to ramp the challenge back down to get up to 50.
And it's not a test of anything, and it's not getting anyone to compete against each other.
Right.
So it's grading on the Beast Games curve, okay, it's okay. But, versus any other game show that you've ever seen in your life, not great.
What I will say is MrBeast this season is so lucky that season 1 was just such dog shit, because it really gets away with that previous context in mind, because even considering all of this stuff, it was a lot more interesting to watch. Right away, I was like, okay, this is actually something. I'm actually interested.
What I saw following the subreddit, which is something that Jimmy Donaldson himself really fixates on, is the subreddit and the subreddit traffic.
Oh,
which
that's where logic happens.
It was 10 times higher this year, but it still wasn't exactly high.
He found all the smart people in there.
People did not like the show as much in season 2, and I think it was mostly because they were convincing themselves to like it in season 1, and now it's just like, well, it's more of this shit. Huh?
That's interesting because the critics, if you go on Rotten Tomatoes, they are far more favorable towards season 2 than season 1.
Which I think just means that he and his company are playing the game a lot better.
Yeah,
because
that makes sense.
We're talking about the fucking entertainment press.
I thought that just production quality, everything was a lot better. I guess maybe I'm a sucker for the critics, but I kind of agreed. It was largely better, or let me put it this way. As somebody who wanted to kill myself both seasons, I wanted to kill myself about 30% less this year.
Oh, okay. Huge achievement.
Okay. So I need to be the counterpoint here, because in season 2, they replay a lot of the games that they do in season 1.
Yes.
Games that they play tested in season 1 and they found out did not fundamentally work. Yeah. And they did them again. Yeah. So no, I don't give this season a fucking pass, because they already did it. They did it in season 1 and it failed. It fell on its face, and I will not reward them not learning from their mistakes. I won't.
Folks, AJ, MrBeast, hey, Jimmy, if you're listening to this, AJ's put you on fucking notice, bud.
You are the antithesis of everything I hold dear in humanity. Yeah. You need to stop making content. Yeah. You need to stop.
I'll be so honest. I think a part of this for me is that I have just consumed so much MrBeast at this point. It's fucking wearing me down. It's exposure therapy. I'm with you. 30 hours in, my eyes taped open. Wow, this guy's not so bad after all.
Putting you in the fucking Ludovico device to watch MrBeast.
I finished up the season yesterday and I just had the worst headache. I was like, I can't stand this shit. Something that's worth noting here too is the cross promotion stuff that he's doing. There were 40 other YouTubers who were involved in Beast Game Season 2. You don't see them on the show itself.
What?
For the most part, you see Drewski, but these other content creators make all of these videos leading up to or airing at the same time as Beast Game Season 2 that are like, I was on the Beast Game set and I hung out with these guys. Or there's a dude who's hiding in the pile of money because he's been body painted to look like the pile of money. What? So there's a point where there's just a person in there.
Is he nude?
He looks nude.
Because he's a coward. But he's in a skin colored spandex suit. And all of that again is really just for them to be able to put Beast Games in their title, to get that going for them on YouTube search, and then to promote Beast Games using their channels. Really, it's a bigger boon for Jimmy than it is for any of them.
MrBeast just really mastered the massive cross promotional model. He does that for pretty much everything he does. Especially, as we talked about on the part 1 of Beast Week on the Kill the Computer feed, talked about how he did that to an insane degree with his Team Water philanthropy stuff.
He also did multiple cuts of certain episodes. So for the first episode, he has a Spanish YouTuber on the show. So the version of episode 1 that you see in Spain is different because it's partially hosted by that Spanish YouTuber.
Really?
The same for episode 2 in France, which has a French YouTuber as like a featured guest. But in our version here in America, we don't even see them once.
To the point of Mr. Beast and how good he is at cross-promotion generally. Another great example of that is once we get into New Beast City. On the compound.
Take me down to the New Beast City where I drown in the pool that's built for a kitty.
It's like, someone almost breaks his neck immediately because they have
jumps in the pool.
They're
And
like,
oh, fuck
look
no.
at these reflecting pools we have. They are 2 feet deep. And somebody just jumps in and it made my whole body like shiver.
Well, because you just know that the reason those pools were so shallow is that Jimmy wanted pools and legal said, the hell you're getting pools.
Exactly,
And somebody jumped in thinking it was a pool, when in fact it was 2 feet deep.
Well, the good news about arriving at New Beast City is that you find out what your diet's going to be for the next 45 days.
That's right, Feastables.
And turns out it's Feastables and unlimited Starbucks, which means I'm living exclusively on Starbucks
they
for
have
45 days.
That's their craft services. They do have catering for lunch and dinner, and they have a catering tent right outside of the campus.
Oh, thank God.
But yes, for your snacks during the day, instead of the sensible craft services of getting like assorted nuts and Twizzlers and everything
Red
like
Vines,
that. Every single production that you have ever seen on American television runs on Red Vines and or Twizzlers. But their craft services, unfortunately, are hunks of rubber known as Feastables and Lunchleys, but also a free Starbucks kiosk.
Gives a lot of context to the cubes.
Also, just like the bleak Americana of it, where he's like, you can get free Starbucks, and like 50 people immediately run over to get like sugar slop mountains.
I'm gonna order Charlie Kirk's favorite tea. Hey there, you are listening to a preview of a premium episode of The Worst of All Possible Worlds. If you'd like to listen to the rest of this, head on over to our Patreon. That's patreon.com/worstofall. And you can listen to not only the rest of this episode, but our entire backlog of premium episodes, bonus episodes, and if you subscribe at the $10 tier, you will get an extra episode of the podcast every single month. Again, that is patreon.com/worstofall. Hope to see you there.